Hey chat, how we doing? Oh, what the heck? Did the song just change right as I started speak? Huh. I thought the song just straight up broke, like my Spotify was broken. I was like, oh no, don't tell me that something else has gone wrong. So, like, tried to start the stream, and for whatever reason, like, the YouTube side decided that it didn't want to cooperate with the thumbnail, even though it's the same thumbnail I've been using for, like, probably the last 2 weeks. So for whatever reason, YouTube was just like, no, you get to suffer. So not only did I have to try and figure out how to fix that, but it also made like a separate stream that I had to go and delete. Like, what a goofy ass thing to have happen. Anyway, we are doing this again. You're probably asking, Cyclonic, why are you doing this animation for like the third time? I want to get in a bit of practice. That's it. Like, after yesterday's, for want of a better term, disaster, I decided it might be in my best interest to do a little bit more practice before I continue on with the rest of the exercises. Also, I just realized that I didn't put my phone in its holder before I started. Okay, so for the bouncing, I want to, instead of just doing a bounce from left to right like it was before, I'm going to have it bounce left to right, have it slow to a stop, have it be picked up and then tossed from the other direction. So like it gets tossed off screen, if that makes any sense. So like the idea is like I'd have it toss like that, just have it bounce along, whatever. And then when it comes to a stop, probably around about here, I'm going to have it be lifted into the air and then probably just like tossed the other direction. Like, does that make sense to you, chat? It vaguely makes sense to me. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to redraw this. Oh, you can tell I'm not prepared today. I don't even have my screen on, like my drawing tablet on. There we go. Like, my desk is a mess. Like, everything is a mess today. Like, even more so than yesterday. I don't even know how that happened. Like, yesterday was hectic, sure. But yesterday, my bedroom didn't look like somebody set off a bomb in my secondary driver computer. So, like, I got the parts that I wanted to upgrade it with. I just decided in my infinite wisdom that it would be relatively easy to take apart the initial stuff and just, like, put it all together after the stream. I vastly underestimated how difficult it is to take apart a CM Storm computer case. Like, not even the components themselves, but the problem was the power supply cables were all hooked up in a section. So, to give an idea, so like, say this is the case, right? Actually, probably better if I draw it a little bit more accurately. So this is the case, right? So you got your motherboard here, you got the power supply down here, and then you got this section here. And this section is where the drive bays are. So there's like your storage, and then like up here is your auxiliary thing. So in this particular PC, I have a CD-ROM drive here. So this section here, I have a CD-ROM drive, and the power supply is on this corner here. So like, this is the power button here. And then there's an entire case thing here. There's a front panel here. So what I had to do to get the power supply out from here was I had to open both sides of the computer, and then I had to follow the cables from here up through this section, and it comes out into here and then goes in between the CD drive and the case at the top. So there's cables going in here, and they plug into this power button there. So I had to remove this. I initially took this panel off. Like, I took this off to see where the cables went. Realized the cables went into here. figured out that this part came off, so that ended up coming off. And I realized that this thing only moves out to like probably like half an inch or something like that. Probably a bit over exaggerating. It's like 1 inch initially. So I had to remove the PSU. I had to remove this, move it all the way over to this side so I could pull this up about another inch so I could access the ports on the underside. And it's those stupid, it's not like the SATA ports where like there's clips on them. It's just the standard white plug-in ports, which are an absolute bastard to get out if you don't have pliers, and one of them's a double wide, so you can't remove it with pliers. And that's not even counting the fact that I had the power supply cables on the motherboard, which refused to come out until I took the entire motherboard out and then had to wriggle this bastard out. So quite frankly, this entire thing was a goddamn mess. I currently have a power supply sitting on my floor in my bedroom. I have my entire bed is just covered with computer components. I'm hoping that nothing falls off, or at least nothing important falls off. And quite frankly, I don't know why I decided to do that 1 hour before the stream started. Like, I could have just, you know, watched some videos, done the stream, and then came back to that later. But no, I decided that it'd be a good idea to try and take apart the computer before stream. So that's how my day's going. And then I complained about that for a solid 10 minutes. Anyway, what I was doing is I was going to do the drawing for the arc here. So... that's slightly too high. Is that too much, actually? I wonder if the... yeah, and then I'll change this to a different color. Actually, do I need to change this to a different color? Yeah, I probably should. So I'm going to change this to... nope. I'm going to... let's see, where is it? I know there is a way to make a secondary... is it under view, perhaps? Annotations, here we go. Okay, so let's make a secondary note, change this one to red. So then what I want to have happen is I want to have this moved upwards. So like around about here. And I want to have this thrown forward. And then have it roll off screen. Like, does that make sense to you, chat? So like it gets pulled up, gets thrown, hits the floor, and then just keeps going. I think that works. So I'll start on this one first. There we go. So I'll start on this particular annotation first. Have the ball bounce this way. Have it roll to a stop, but don't have it roll like it hit a wall or anything. And then once I've done that, I then have it picked up and then bounce the other direction. I think that'll be good practice anyway. Hopefully I don't mangle the shit out of the handles this time. That was a little bit embarrassing. I don't even know how I managed to do that. I must have grabbed some of the handles without like touching both handles at the same time. Like, I know that was the thing I was supposed to do with like the bottom, like with the bouncers here. But I wasn't supposed to do that with the tops of them. So let's grab this and take it off screen. So what we should do here is grab out a secondary window, lay that down, keep it as timeline, and we change this to the graphic window. So we want, for this particular item, we just need the let's change this to -7 for now. Keep that at 0. And then insert single keyframe here, insert frame here. Do auto keying. And then set the keying set to available. I think that's correct. So we grab this, go along the X, G then X, just continue doing this. And then I want the ending to be roughly around about here. That might work. We'll see. Oh, I forgot to do the thing, chat. I forgot to move the timeline. That was silly of me. So I'm gonna have this be every like 20 frames for now. Nope. Also no. Okay. No. Move that along. This is probably going to be quite a few frames by the time I'm done. X. And then Control End on frame 120, it will be stopped here. Now if I look at the X, like all of these are just in really weird spots, and that's fine for now. So if I play this, yeah, it's a bit jank because like you see it without the bouncing, and you can quite clearly see where it accelerates and slows down. So I'm going to grab all of these for the exception of these two. And we're going to set the interpolation to linear. Okay, so this one here, so on frame here. So on frame 80, it actually accelerates slightly, and I don't want that. Like, y'all can see that, right? So it, like, slows down, slows down, slows down, and then accelerates slightly before slowing down again. That's not what I want. So if we go to frame 80, and then G, and the Y, actually. Do that. So now when it hits the ground, okay, it stops there, and then on frame 140, actually I might even need to increase the X perhaps. We'll see. So if I control in here, and then I grab this so it's right here. So now if I do this, the only issue is that it accelerates at the end. I probably even want to if I do this, so... Okay, now just to... So where does this hit? So this one hits here. That goes a bit further. Okay, maybe I just remove all these and try again. Because I feel like that one's sufficient. Like, that one hits correctly. So if I G X... G then X... And then on frame 80... frame 100. X. And then frame 140. It comes to a stop around about here. Let's try this again. I know I need to edit the last frame. So 1, 2, 5, 6, and then it accelerates a little bit at the end. But I believe that's fine. Because, like, the thing is that needs to... I need to set these to Bezier. So if I grab this... Actually, let's just grab these and rotate them. So I don't really want these to be too silly. So if I might GM this one, just a smidge, not too much, but just enough. Alright, let's try this now. So, first contact point, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. And I just want to slow to a stop. So... wonder if grabbing at the Y is probably better. If I do that, yeah, it just accelerates the end. So... maybe down a bit. Because if I move this too far down, it will just not do what I want it to. Let's try it anyway. So then, okay. It needs to be almost flat. It's like it reaches there in decent time. I wonder if these are too far apart and that's what's throwing me off here. We'll see. Let's just add the Z location first before anything else. So get rid of that. G, Z. And then on frame 20. Actually, no, not on frame 20. What frame? Here we go. 2. Say probably about frame 70 for this one. And then frame 90 for this. So actually, why did I pick the middle for this? Picking the middle is a bit silly. So go. Okay, G, Z. Well, actually, let's just go to frame 1. So grab this one. Then frame 30. Z. I said frame 52 for this one. Z. Frame 70. And then frame 90. And then frame probably 109 for this. Okay, it's a bit silly. I forgot to add the contact points for this, so I'm just going to... Zero? Yep. So add a contact point there. I can't believe I forgot to add the Z contact points. That's a bit silly of me. I was like, why is it still floating in the air? Not like neglecting to remember the fact that I still have to put in the Z points here. And then that's 0. So if I play this... Yeah, and then I just need it to roll to a stop at the end. I can do that though. So it's like this, so it's that. I just need it to roll to a stop. So how did I do this the first time around, chat? See, this is exactly why I need to practice. It's because I forget very basic things. And then... set the end to 160. Make sure it rolls to a stop. Okay, so for this one... I need to... do what exactly with this? Like, the easing is correct. Oh, of course, I need to actually drag this up so it properly eases at the end. So it bounces. Yeah, I just need to move this a bit lower then. So it bounces. Oh, interesting. It hits It seems to just hit a wall and then roll back by itself. That's not what I wanted. 3. I'll actually, What do you mean no quick Excuse me? We were literally just going over this yesterday. Where is it? Where's the handle smoothing? Handle type, no. Is it because... Oh, it might be because it's, aligned instead of free. So if I... No, it's not. Smooth. Where is it? Don't tell me that I'm pulling this garbage a second time. No, where is the ability to even out the... Hang on, where is it F2? No. It's some... Okay, here we go. Even? Reveal curves. Am I high? What's going on with this? You mean to tell me that I somehow lost an item on the quick favorites? Y'all saw me put the stupid thing on quick favorites and somehow it's disappeared. Like, I can't tell if this is a me problem or if something's just happened overnight. Decimate, easing type, interpolation mode, handle type, no. Oh good lord, what the hell happened? Oh, here it is. Equalize handles. This thing just decided it wanted to disappear off the face of the earth. Oh, I hate that. I hate the fact that's a thing. So, I was just about to say, don't tell me I've lost it again. I'm removing the shortcut. Stupid thing. Cannot believe this. So now, if I check this... Alright. And then I actually want to have it slow to a stop. I don't really want it to be going the other direction. So if I move that, it doesn't really do anything. Can I add another keyframe to the end here? So if I... Never mind. Let's just insert the keyframes manually here. So if I do this... Does that, and then... Why does it keep doing that? I don't want to do that. Stop that. Dang it, Blender, why are you like this? And then want to delete those keyframes. So now it should only be there. So it bounces, bounces, bounces. I think that's okay. Regardless, the bouncing or the lack thereof is starting to annoy me. So let's do something about it. Now, if I grab this, wait, is this a vector? It might be. I think it might be a non-Bezier. So, got that contact point, got that contact point, got that one, that one. And there's a contact point here, or something thereabouts. Okay, it's this one right here. So I need to firstly switch these back to Bezier. And then I need to switch the handle type to vector. For whatever reason, this one has also turned into a linear instead of a Bezier. I don't know how that happened, but it did. All the stuff that really shouldn't be possible, I've somehow managed to do on a regular basis. That's just an average cyclonic moment, though. Right, so now is the time to move these. So I want to probably double time this. So 5. So I also need I probably don't need this anymore. Like, I don't need the annotation, so I'm going to hide that for now. I'm also going to set the motion path on. And for whatever reason, it is not... Am I dumb? Oh, no. Chat, I've done a dumb. I accidentally animated the object instead of the pose. Why am I like this? Okay. I think this is fixable, to be fair. So I'm going to grab all these, copy them. Actually, I'm pretty sure I can set the... Okay, so I'm going to... How do I move these to the bone instead of the thing? Oh, this is actually genuinely embarrassing. How have I managed to do this? Let's... Oh, I cannot believe I've done this. Okay, let's set the single keyframes here. And then... Oh, this is gonna be an issue. How do I put the animation from the bone to the... Okay, I think I can do it like this. So if I... Can I copy this? I cannot believe I've done this. Can I move this down, perhaps? Okay, I don't think I can. Okay, I think there is a way I can do this. So I need to go to the action wherever that may be. In LA. Here we go. So I need to move the multi-ball rig. I need to move that to select an existing NLA track or an empty action line first. Okay. So if I grab this and move to track selected. Damn it. Okay, no. Can I... Oh, I cannot believe I've done this. So... I am not familiar with these particular... Well, I suppose I could say intricacies of the editors. I'm pretty sure, like, the way that I would fix this is by somehow moving the rig action into the ball geo. How I do that, though, is completely unknown. So, if I selected objects... Oh, this is fucking incredible. I cannot believe that I forgot to check to see if I was animating the bone instead of the object. Let's see, if I push this down... And then... duplicate this. Can I move this? No, I can't. Oh, this is going to become more and more of a mess the more I mess around with this, isn't it? Okay, I mean, like, I know this is the thing that allows you to... Chat, looks like I might have to, just quickly go ahead and take a good old Google search as to how to fix this mess. Move... How to copy animation. Link data, but that doesn't help. Not unless I can link the data from the object to the armature. So like if I grab the geo, there's no shot this works. There's no shot this works. No, this doesn't work. This is still stuck in object mode. Oh, this is ridiculous, actually. From object to armature, but it doesn't show. It shows like object to object or armature to armature. It doesn't. Oh, that's annoying as hell. Why is that a thing? There's gotta be some way that I can move this, surely. Surely the developers at Blender would have had to have accounted for somebody being this stupid. Surely. Okay, this is gonna be like the dumbest possible solution, but it might just work. So if I... Wait, this is in rigged mode though now. So if I insert a keyframe, hang on a sec, what is going on with this? So in object mode, it's no longer showing the keyframe. Did I just gaslight myself into thinking I animated the... Oh my god, I am not smart enough to use this software, I swear to god. I gaslit myself into thinking that I had accidentally animated the geometry instead of the... Oh, wait a minute. What? What have I done to myself? Huh? Okay. I thought for a second there I had gaslit myself into thinking that I animated something in object mode instead of pose mode, but no, that's just exactly what I did. So if I grab all of these and copy them, so that is... Okay, let's just do these one at a time. So if I grab all these, not that one though. So, what am I grabbing here though? Like, I shouldn't be able to grab anything here. Oh, okay, it was just the x-axis. Okay. So if I copy that... Oh, thank fuck for that. Oh my god. I cannot believe I was this stupid, chat. Like, for real, why am I built like this? Why am I built with exactly 0 brain cells? Okay. Let's just act like this never happened. Let's just delete the object, transform, and move on with our lives. And then object mode, Alt-G. Okay, now this is in the correct spot. Cannot believe my stupidity at times, I swear. Like, everyone says that I'm smart, but this is like the perfect example of why I am just not. Like, I am objectively just one of the dumbest people alive. So... yeah, this needs to be made a bit snappier now that I've gone ahead and fixed my mistake. Okay. These need to be a bit faster too. Actually, I'll just grab this one by 2. Okay, now I can check the motion paths. Oh, I cannot believe I did that. Truly incredible. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I promise you, chat, 3, 4, 5, I'm not smart. So, half on that, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. Probably even move that to 5. So update that. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 2, yeah, 5. Just the sheer lack of brain cells I hold is incredible sometimes. So if I update this should be 2, 5. Probably a bit much, but we'll see. This one definitely has way too many. It probably needs to be like 3 at maximum. 5. Try this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, it probably needs to be over a bit more. Yeah. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then there's just one more there. Probably be like a couple of frames. Step 59. So 1, 2. Go. So we'll try that. Path on this. Now the arc seems to be okay, but I probably need to smooth it out at the top. So it comes to a rest at around about here, I think. And then frame 80 will make the last one. For the time being, at least. So in this frame 80. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So now we just need to smooth out the tops of the arcs a bit. Easy enough to do. I hope. So grab that. Grab that one as well while we're here. Okay, I need to first of all grab that, and second of all make sure I'm scaling along the individual centers. So if we update the path, cool. Okay, 36 to 48 probably could stand to be a bit faster. So I'm going to select all these. Make it 1 frame faster. So now if we update this. And then this one specifically needs to be scaled back in the X. So if I update this now, yeah, okay, here we go. Alright, well, despite that silly little incident that I had, at least now we have a ball bounce animation. I'm just going to scale each of these here so that the bounces are a bit sharper, and that's about it. So this one as well. And then that one just very slightly. There we go, that should be good. Okay, well at least we know now what to do if I accidentally throw the animation on the body and on the geometry instead of the bones. Good to know. Alright, let's finish up this animation then, huh? So, comes to a rest at around about frame 78. Goes to frame 80, and then I think at frame possibly 85? I'm gonna have it go to here. So it's gonna sit there until frame 85. And then on frame... So I'm gonna bring back the other annotation. Alright, I forget that the annotations are actually... Are they linked to... Are they linked to the frames? Surely not. So why isn't my annotation visible? Maybe... Oh, maybe it's because I removed the other keyframes, possibly? Yeah, because all the annotations are gone now. So that's a bro moment. So just remove these two. I'll add a new annotation. But actually, is it because I didn't have the annotation tool on? Possibly? No? Okay, no, they're just straight up gone. So now I'm going to have... Just move this out of the way for a quick moment. Oh, I did not mean to turn that off. Whoopsies. To be fair, I have been very flustered today. That's just tracking, quite frankly. Now, annotation time. So with this, I'll change it to red for the moment. So now I can grab the ball to be up here and then toss it to the side. Probably even just change that arc a bit. Again, like, I don't know why my arcs are so off today. Like, was I really this flustered today? Would 3 bounces be sufficient and just be tossed off screen? It would need to have quite a fair bit of acceleration on the end, though. Because it'll be like, toss and it just goes along. Or maybe I can... Just need to do the arc. I think maybe 3 should be sufficient. Or actually, even... Yeah, have the ball tossed up in the air slightly before it makes contact with the ground. Because the thing is, I'm trying to also keep consistency with the rest of the animation too. Which means keeping the bounce height relatively normal. I think that arc is fine, it's just getting the correct height. I think that's good. Yeah, I can work with that. Oh yeah, chat, I've been playing Block Tales last night, and I think it's a really good game, actually. It's a Roblox game for those of you who don't play it. But I think it's really well made, and, like, the jokes are quite well thought out. Like, obviously, I know it's supposed to be, Earthbound, Paper Mario inspired, but I think it's really well made. Like, I can't complain. Alright, back to this. Now, I do find that the numbering is getting in the way, so I'm just going to do that. So now on frame 85. Tag forward just continues. So now it's on frame 85. I think I want the frame 90 perhaps. So I'm going to set this to 150 now. So I'm going to grab this in the Z like this. So it does that. Would this probably even be too fast? Perhaps grab this in the X a couple frames. And then maybe even pull it back a bit before tossing it across. So this one, like maybe an X like that, so it gets pulled up. So I actually probably need to make an extra keyframe here. So I'll put a keyframe here, insert single keyframe. So it stays like that. And then just G and X it a bit. So now we've got that. Maybe even a pause after this one. So I was going to get exponentially more obnoxious, isn't it? So add a keyframe here. So it gets pulled up, stops, and then maybe frame 102 and the X bit. And then it gets thrown where it hits the floor here. So I'm going to hide that for now. Hide this one. And then probably like frame 110. Alt G that. Actually, just the Z, I just need a second arrow. And then along the X, X. Oh wait, no. Is that correct? It needs to be the other direction. So if I grab this up. Okay, I have no idea how I'm going to do this for the second, but that's fine. So it does that, and then frame 120, G then X. And then frame 130, G then X. And then frame 150 goes off screen. At least for now. So kind of looks like a bowling ball when you throw it that way. It's kind of funny, actually. But that's not what we're here for. We're here for bouncing and bouncing only. So let's do the old bounce. So in between these two roughly. Actually, let's just do in the middle of the arc. So G and then Z. G then Z. And then G then Z. I also need to remember to add contact points to the in-betweens here. So set the Z to 0. Set this one to 0. Yep, that's also at 0. And then, like, with the implication, I want to set this one to 0 as well. So it goes like this. So it goes up, bounces, and then, like, it bounces off screen, but you're not going to see the rest of that momentum, so it doesn't really matter in this particular case. So, now for this, I need to figure out how I'm going to have it arc and over this way. Because right now, it just wants to sweep down. So, how would one go about forcing that arc properly? I have a feeling it has to do with the Z, obviously. Let's set these to be the vector handles. So V and then vector. So that's gonna bounce. Oh, now I just need to get the So it wants to go down and to the right at the same time. For whatever reason, it's not arcing correctly. Why would this not be arcing correctly? Let's have a quick look at the other ones and see what is different. So, like, the bounce there is correct. And the bounce on this side as well is correct. So does it have to do with the x-axis, in fact? So it rolls back, but it's supposed to snap forward at this point. So is it because this is actually not in the correct position? So if I grab this, probably even need to rotate this. So like, it's doing the other bounces properly. I just don't know why it's not. Apparently my brain is just not used to this. So that's this one. These also need to be set to What's the setting? Interpolation mode, linear. Yeah. So the... Is it interpolating in the wrong area? So is this causing these to not work as because this actually drops before the ball moves. So the ball starts moving at around about frame 102. Actually, that's not entirely accurate. It starts moving here. So it starts moving on frame 97, and I actually want to go further this way. So if I G then X this, yeah, it starts going that way. Ah, but that's where the pause is, right? So it's like here, it pauses. It's supposed to be up here. It's supposed to pause for a few frames before moving. So if I Control Shift click and set this to say 180 for now. So if I don't want that one, I want this one, thanks. So if I move these along, it wants to start going down. I don't want it to start going down. Because it immediately starts moving downwards the second that I have it like this. So it's this one here that's causing the problems. So it's this here, it needs to not be moving up until frame 109, where it starts moving the X, I believe. Is it frame 109 where it starts moving the X? Okay. I thought I was supposed to be moving backwards slightly before moving forward. What's the deal with that? Weird. So, set this back up to be the maximum height. I thought this was supposed to have an X thing here too. Like, that's supposed to be there. And then frame 100. I want to be setting a frame here and here. So I actually want this to be the exact same height here. So this is keyframed along the x-axis. Where is the keyframe for the z? It's on the same keyframe. Okay, wait. Hang on. Here we go. So I want this to be the exact same. So I'm going to Shift D and move this along the X until about frame 100. Here we go. Frame 100. So now if I do this again, I want the X to start moving on the exact same frame as this starts going down. So the first frame that starts moving down is on frame 112 from the looks of it. Actually, no, it's not 112. 114. Okay, so if I play this now, yeah, it actually moves forward slightly. I don't really want it moving forward quite yet. So I actually want it to be drawn back before it being thrown. So if I hide this for now, I'm going to Shift D this, move it along to frame 100. And then Shift D this, move it to frame 105. And then G and then Y. Okay, so if I this on frame 100, then I actually grab this down slightly so it doesn't move as far. Dang it, I didn't want to do that. Yeah, and then I can have the ball be shot forward before it flies off screen. Okay, this is looking a lot better than it did before. So maybe one frame more. Yeah, so now all I have to do is just make these a bit faster, like these frames in between this backwards movement and then it being launched forward and then it bounced off screen. Okay, let's have a look at the path for this. So I'm going to have a look-see. I think I can hide this now. I can probably hide the annotation for now. So I'll go to frame 85 and then hide this. So it gets pulled up, gets pulled back, and then probably need to control shift click. Oh, weird. There's a keyframe there that refuses to be grabbed. What is that about? What is this keyframe? Why do you not want to move? Okay, now it wants to move. You know? Okay, so then it... probably even a little bit snappier than that. So then it goes like this. Alright. So now I need to adjust the frames between these. Also, I feel like this, like one of these starting, like these earlier ones are a bit mushy. So if I... actually, are they? Or am I just imagining stuff again? So if I remove these for now. Okay, there's like too much of a pause at like this section here, right? So like it draws back correctly and then it just pauses on this frame here. So if I step... okay, that was actually the wrong one. So if I... does this step forward? This steps forward through all this stuff, but it doesn't step forward through frames, which is a bit strange. So... how do I step forward between frames? Is it... okay, it's actually the arrow keys. So, practicing with balls, yeah, the title was deliberate, okay, Foxy, how you doing? I didn't have the time to see the Discord message. Oh, that's rough. I hope you're feeling better soon. Like, I just looked at the message. It seems like the doctors are kind of just fobbing you off, which is not on, really. But hey, at least my dumb title can give you a little bit of a chuckle. So it pulls back, and then when it gets flung forward, there's like a pause right around here. It's imperceptible when you're looking at it through the step by step. When you pull it back like this, yeah, it's like literally on. It's like it's on frame 10. It's wrong almost. So maybe the X is off a bit. Maybe this needs to be linear. Like, it's already linear, so who's... That's the case for literally any fucking doctor anywhere around here. I'm just tired of it. Yeah, I don't want to make any comments about that, but I get the distinct feeling that you're in one of the areas where doctors are a bit lacking. I love balls. I know you do, Tucker. How you doing? The second that everyone mentions the balls, the circus music starts. You can't write this shit, honestly. You really cannot. I swear, my entire life is just a joke. Okay, so like there's a... Yeah, there's like a pause. It's supposed to be an arc, but it just drops? Tucker, why are you like this? Like, why are you like this? For real. Okay, maybe this one actually needs to be set to Bezier. And then this one up a bit. Can't believe I have to say this. Please stop slurping in my chat. And the fact that I've said those particular words in that particular order more than once in my career, probably because I was talking to 25-year-olds when I was 12. Yeah, like... There's only one person I could think of that fits that description, but yeah, you are correct. So if I... Okay, that works a little bit better. So... Yeah. Probably needs to be a bit faster on the X. So... This movement here... Right around probably here, I'd have to guess. So... The movement is... like that. Pulls back. And then throws forward. Actually, that's not too bad. I'd probably start editing the bounces now. So, recalculate this. Is there a way to prevent seeing, like, the previous frames? Like, is there a way to just see only the active, like, the blue line sections? Okay, so this is a few frames off. So 1, 2, 3, 5, 2, 3. So I'd probably wager a guess and say this is actually probably too fast. So I'm going to 2. So there's 5 frames on that side, and I'm going to extend this one out by 1. So up at half, that's clean and even. Why the fuck did I think it was a good idea to get a full plate of banana pudding when I literally already had a full bowl of ice cream for my shower? Man, Voxy's just... You're just getting ready for the winter, aren't you? Even though I know for a fact it's coming up on summer for you, you're just getting ready to hibernate, huh? I mean, fair enough. I feel horrible for wasting this. Like, can't you just put it in the fridge for later? So if I recount, Actually, I'll probably move this to be... Actually, hang on. The correct way to do this is to scale these ones. So if I update path on that, yep, that's better. Scale this one as well. Now if I do this, I probably actually need to have the X move less in that span of time. I would, but I don't really have anything to put it in. Really? I mostly only got it because I know it would help soothe my throat a bit, because that's what it did last night when I had some. Fair enough. Okay, so if I disable that for now and I go back to this, I want to have this be... Like, I want the movement of the X to be a little bit tighter. So what I'm going to do instead of trying to do that manually is I'm actually going to have this and move it back one, probably like about... I should have known better than to get this because of sugar overload. You're really just answering for the consequence of your actions at this point, huh? So realistically, this should probably be like in between. No. Be around about here? Okay, that looks a lot better. So now I need to move on this frame. I need to move this along quite a bit. And then... So, fun fact, chat. If you move, like, pose or move objects, what have you, with keyframes, like, with the auto keyframe on, in the viewport, the paths, like the motion paths, update automatically. If you move it literally anywhere else, it will not update. You have to recalculate it. And I understand why, but good lord is it obnoxious. I think that's fine for this one. I just need to probably grab this one and then... Actually, no. I'll just... Where is the keyframe that it contacts the ground? It's this one. Wait, hang on. Is that correct? Why is the... Whatever. Man, I don't get paid enough for this. I don't get paid at all for this, in fact. Oh well, I'll be okay. I'm just going to see if there's a small container somewhere, I guess. I mean, fair enough. Now would probably be a good time to raid your cupboard, see if you can find any, like, spare Tupperware that's gone missing in the past few years. So, like, it contacts the ground here. And then... This actually still needs to be... Oh, what have I done to this poor animation, I swear. Okay. Grab this in the X. And return it to its rightful spot. And then the amount of time that takes between this, so 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3. Grab both of these, and then put it here. So now if I update the path, okay, so I need to move these ones. No, not those ones. This one here, and move it out one. And this one is actually uneven a bit, I think. So 4 and 4 here, but it's not quite even enough. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then it's 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4. Like that's even, but the motion is not. So I probably need to move the x-axis of this one. Actually, is this even? Because, like, we're looking at this specifically here. So if I look at the Z for this. So the frame we're currently on is this one here, which is even on both sides according to the Z, but the X is questionable best. So I'm going to grab these ones. If I update this. Okay, that's a bit cleaner. So it hits the ground here, bounces a bit more. And it probably needs to bounce one more time before rolling off screen, maybe? It's like really hard to see with all this clutter. So it like... Let's pause around here. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 on here. And there's 1, 2, 3, and then 4 on this side. I think this one here in the middle needs to be a bit wider. Okay, got something slightly better to eat and managed to find a small enough container for the pudding to fit into. I mean, nice job. Like, where would you even find a container? You did just say that there wasn't one, no? So I'm going to grab this one. I grab the X ones here. So all of these, I'm going to move them along. So G to Y. G to Y. G to Y. Okay, that one can actually stay the same height, I think. Well, I said that because I didn't realize there was a small-sized round container that it would fit perfectly into. So you just had a conveniently sized container laying about, huh? You know, I can't even be mad about that. That sounds great for you. I only recall there being big containers. Yeah, it can be a bit of a pest. So now I'm going to move forward 1, 2. Actually, let's just move forward to frame 160 now. So I'm just going to delete this keyframe. I'm going to move this one here. So I'm going to move this one here. I'm going to grab this in the Z very slightly. Actually, that is correct, isn't it? It's like just around about here. Yeah. And then frame 180, I'm going to have this on the ground and off screen at -7. And update paths. Yeah, kind of forgot that my mum used to use 2 of those, like, that for storing her lemon juice into when she would squeeze lemons for baking stuff. Oh, okay. So, like, small containers for lemon juice. That's not a bad idea. Okay, so we've got that now. There we go. So it needs to be 2, 3, 4. So it needs to already actually be in the air at this point. Probably even one more frame. Yep, so it's like 2 frames. And then this needs to be 1, 2. And then on the 3rd frame, this needs to be down here. So if I update the path now, it should be like this. Okay, now the only issue is that this is like basically accelerating up into this bounce, and I want to be slowing down. Oh, also, Foxy, you missed me being an absolute idiot earlier. I accidentally animated everything onto the actual object instead of the pose mode. Ball go boing. It really do. I accidentally animated everything to object mode instead of pose mode, and I freaked out for like a solid, I think, probably 10 minutes before I realized I could just copy all the animation data over just by Control C and Control V. I absolutely flipped my shit. I got so flustered. Oh my, yeah, it do be like that sometimes. So this needs to be up slightly. So that should slow down. And then off screen, I can have the ball roll to grab this at -7. So if I update the path now, it should go like this. So go bounce, bounce, bounce. I probably need to have it extend out a bit further. So if it goes to about here, so it bounces, let's see. Actually, what I can do is I can actually start this at frame, say, 140. Actually, no, I can start this at frame 140, and then end this at frame, say, 165. So I can end this at 165, and I can just have this section loop over and over again. So I would even say that it is not far enough away. I'll probably say at frame 165, this probably needs to be at -9. So if I update the path on this... Oh, that's how I do it. Okay, that makes sense. So... Oh, it seems to be that this is actually accelerating. I want this to be accelerating. And then G and Y. So if I go back to here, and what frame is this? So start at 110. I can now update the path, and I can see the bounce of the other direction. Now, I know for a fact this is accelerating because of the arc on these curves. They're far too fast. So I need to GNX this a bit to around about there. And I need to Grab this one. Probably around about... No, not there. So I need to grab both of these keyframes. So actually on this one, I'm going to G and X this. So around about there. And then on this frame, I need to grab it. There we go. God, I hate how hot it is in here. My fucking dad refuses to turn the damn AC on, and it's so frustrating when it's been literally been like 75 to 80 degrees for the past 2 or 3 days and will be all week long. I am so sorry you had to deal with that, Foxy. That must be absolutely horrendous for you, especially in your current state. Okay, I need to... I need to have the X be a bit less than what I'm currently doing. So, all these, G and X, actually Y. As in, why does Foxy's dad hate him so much? Who knows? My ceiling fan doesn't do shit to help because my entire fucking room is like an oven. Oh, that's rough. Yeah, I feel that one on an emotional level. I have this computer going, like, during stream, it really does not like, doing what it's supposed to. Well, it really genuinely just doesn't like, running without blasting the fans. So I tend to cook alive in here too, so I feel that one on a spiritual level. So this one here, all these need to be like this. So if I play this now, like the arcs are good, but it just ends too soon. So I probably want to at 180 and just extend this out. Or am I silly for thinking that? Actually, no, that is correct. I need to grab this in the Y until it is at -7. The X. Actually, no, I can just do this from here. -7. Update the path. Y. And then update this. I wanted to have it relatively even. Just move. Like, even just the most minor of movement seems to set it off. So if I G the Y, pull it down. So if I do this now, should... I mean, technically this one does need to be moved up a small amount. But I am going to move these so they're slightly steeper. Because I do want the ball to be off screen by the time it hits that final bounce. So I want this to be... Grab all of these. G then Y. Then G then Y. Actually pay attention to what I'm doing on here. Grab this one. G then Y. Why did the RBX tool menu pop up? I have no clue. G then Y. And for prosperity's sake, I'm just going to move this down as well. Maybe slightly less than that. Alright, cool. So if I play this now... Alright, we should be good. I've spent so long doing these arches that I've forgotten that I actually need to smooth the animation out the top as well. So, time to do that. So I need to scale this in the X. Scale this in the X. That one as well. Okay. And I need to scale these ones as well. Where are the handles for this one? Is this one? Okay, so this here needs to be scaled slightly, and as does this one. And like, this is basically just being pedantic at this point. Alright, I think that's good. So the entire animation, starting from frame 1. So if we update the path, it's going to bounce along, and then it gets thrown up. So if I clear this now, and I go into this mode, just get rid of everything, and I do quite literally mean everything. So if I go grab this now, it'll bounce across, get lifted up, and then thrown that way. Okay, the bottom of the last bounce is too fast. That much I can tell. You see how, like, it's not very noticeable at first, but at the end here, it accelerates slightly. So it makes contact with the ground, and then it just pisses off into the ether. It actually accelerates. So if I calculate this, yeah, it more or less accelerates, and I don't want it to be accelerating quite that much. So the cause for that is probably this set of x-axis right here. So this is makes contact with the ground here. This actually needs to be smoothed out just a smidge. Grab that. Y, that. Now if I remove the path for this. Okay, now that's better. Okay, now it's not... You legit make me want to try Blender, but I just don't know if it would lag or not due to internet. I wouldn't actually be all too concerned about this because Blender is not an internet-based application for the most part. Like, the only reason you would use internet for Blender is for, like, if you want to pull up information. So, like, say for example, let's just go to where I have lighting around here somewhere. Actually, I don't have any lights. Oh, really? Yeah, for real. So I'm just going to just use this as an example. I'm going to hit F1 on here. And it is actually the F1 key. But what you can do is you can pull up the Blender manual for whatever version by hitting F1 and hovering your mouse over whatever you want to know information about. So this tells you information about the format of your renders. So it tells you like how the resolution works, how the percentage works. So it tells you the size of your rendered image relative to the resolution values. So the only reason you would use internet with Blender is to pull up the manual. And that's the only reason. Now if I go into this, Blender specs 4.2, because I know these updated recently. So the requirement for Blender 4.2 is actually not as high as you think it is. Like, most modern computers can run Blender. Here we go. So these are the requirements for Blender. So at minimum, you need a 4-core CPU, which basically every CPU comes with these days. 8GB of RAM, which the bare minimum for running games is 16 anyways. And a 2GB VRAM GPU, of which has not really been seen for like a decade now. So you could run this on decades old software and be completely fine. Or a decade at least. Like, the recommended is a good like starting point, but most modern, especially like custom builds, but like most pre-builts, most laptops can probably run this. Like, you might have a bit of issue with the RAM, but most of these should be able to run. So the bar for entry for Blender is actually quite low. They should really list a minimum requirement amount of brain cells in order to run the software, because this stuff can get quite intensive, mentally speaking, after a while. Like, when you're first starting out especially, it can be quite overly difficult to figure out. But once you get a hang of like your basic shortcuts, it's relatively fine, I think. Now, why did I set this to vector handles again? Why did I set this to vector? It should really just be probably free handles bishop this. Oh right, I had an issue where this would move backwards and forwards. I actually need to check to make sure this isn't actually moving. So it has... yeah, it just stops. So that's roughly what I wanted it to do. Wowie. Yeah, okay, so like, for example, right? If you... I'm gonna save this. I'm gonna save it in a personal folder. I'm gonna... this isn't technically a lecture item, so I'm not going to bother setting it to the lectures. Parking a ball. Bounce. So I'm just going to pull this up for a second, right? So if you pull up like a brand new Blender file, like if you try moving around in the standard way, it's not going to work. Actually, is there a way that is screencast keys enabled by default on this version? I don't think it is. So, screencast. Screencast. Nope, that is UI translations. Screencast keys. Okay, so I'm only going to briefly use this for now. And okay, this should work. Actually, is it in screencast keys? Here we go. And I have no idea how this works, I just realized. So, origin area. Chat, oh wait, here we go. It would help if I enabled it. Okay, here we go. So, the mouse size, I'm going to set this to like 50. So you can see on my bottom left screen here, I have a mouse now. And this will show you what I mean about movement in Blender is a bit unorthodox. Like, it's standard for 3D modeling software, but it's a bit unorthodox if you, say, play video games quite often. So, movement in here, like, if you try and do anything, you'll realize that the left click actually drags out a select box. The movement itself, so if you want to rotate around something, you hold the middle mouse button. So that's like you rotate around the object thing. If you want to move left and right, you hold shift and then middle mouse button. And then that moves the screen around. And if you want to zoom, you can just do the regular thing where you scroll your mouse wheel. Like, that's normal. And that's the only normal navigation tool you're going to find in this software. So that's how movement works. And if you think the movement's janky, wait until you see how things go when you have to actually model things. So I'll give you a hint. You can hold shift and press keys in order to bring up menus. So yeah, that's how basic Blender movement works anyway. I'm going to disable the screencast keys because I already have enough garbage on my sidebar as it is. Where is my preferences? Screencast keys. I'm just going to uninstall that. Alright, so I'm going to reopen. Nothing else. Don't save. And allow execution of that. I think I've done relatively well on this one though, chat. So, like, arcs down. Oh, didn't mean to do that. So it bounces. Goes upwards. Now, what I can do here is I can now go viewport render animation. So it'll just render out everything. Now, the only thing I can say for Blender, like in terms of specs, you want to have something relatively modern if you're going to be rendering animations specifically. And that is just really to save time and the longevity of your components. So now, if I go into render and view animation, there we go, we've got a bouncing ball, up and throw, and there it goes. What do you think, chat? Do you think this is a smooth animation? I think it's a smooth animation. Or at least as smooth as I'm going to get. And just remember, this sort of stuff is the basis for basically every 3D computer animation is just bouncing balls. Like, as long as you can tell the movement of something, you'll just realize that it's all the same arcing motions. And it's going to be really entertaining later on, because it may come down to the fact that whenever I'm like going about making motion of any type, oh whoops, apparently, for whatever reason, the annotation is not working. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to quickly view this. Okay, there we go. Just going to start doing this. So whenever I go into making any type of motion in the future, there is a possibility that, you know, you might see me doing some of the dumbest things imaginable. And the only reason I say that is because what you can do is you can take, like, whatever you can. So, like, say a video of somebody walking. And then what you can do is you can actually import the image into Blender directly. Like, you can import videos directly into Blender. So if I Shift A, and I believe it's under image. So you can have images in the scene, you can have speakers in scene, you can have like all those sorts of things. And then you can animate a character doing things based off of what the video is like. And then using that data, it will then can be imported into the scene. So like basically the scene can just be set up so the character is doing the exact same thing that you were acting out just moments prior, provided you have the skill level to do it. And that's going to be roughly the plan once I get into actual character animation, but it's not quite yet. I've got a little bit of time left after this, so I'm going to open up Midnight Mountains here. Now, we did finish, well, mostly finish this last time. So if I do this. Now, what I do want to add just briefly here while I have this active is I want to grab this entire section here. I want to add a light to the lighthouse. It doesn't have to be obnoxiously bright, but it just has to be blatantly obvious. So cursor to selected, Shift A, and add in a point. Now I believe this shouldn't have to be too bright, because the second I scale this out to be outside the lighthouse, it's probably going to flashbang the... Actually, no, it doesn't flashbang the thing. So, the question is, what is the average power of a lighthouse light? I personally do not know this information, and Blender doesn't give a whole lot of information as to how it works. But there is some information I can go based off of. So if I pull this information up, it can tell you like this information here. So it can tell you the lumens of a car headlight, fluorescent tubes, and all that fun stuff. Now, I don't know what the exact lumen value of a lighthouse bulb is. Lighthouse bulb lumen value. So, some modern lighthouses have 1 million candle power. A standard 100 watt incandescent bulb has approximately 100. So, apparently, the power of a candle, which Blender has set to 0.05 watts. Oh, I can't believe I have to calc this. So, 0.05 watts times 1 million is equal to 50,000 watts of power. And I know for a fact the second I click enter on this, the entire thing's going to get washed out. So, maybe not the best way to go about this, perhaps. So, I might actually abstain from putting that in. Also, this stuff glows, like in the game, this stuff here specifically glows, like this pink sludge. But I am not going to get into the logistics of that right now. I do have a sun around here somewhere. I think it's in action, isn't it? Yeah. But is this... The scene might actually be bright enough. Like, the only issue that I have is the lighting down the bottom. So if I... Yeah. So I'm going to grab this and just plonk it around here. Oh, you done with the balls? Yeah, I just finished. I'm just moving on to this stuff for the time being. So if I grab this and come over here, I'm going to duplicate this. And I'm going to RX 180. So yeah, that just provides a bit more lighting. I'm going to set this to 0.05 though. So it provides just enough light without being overpowering. And I'm not... I think I just said this, but I kind of dozed off. Guess I should get my ass into bed soon. I mean, fair enough. I'm probably going to end off stream in like about 10 minutes anyway. I'm just doing like a smidge more work before heading off. What do you think of this image, Foxy? I just realized that it's actually probably a bit too noisy. I could probably just render this and be fine. I'll just render this. Just give it a single moment, chat, and it should be just about right. Ooh, yeah. So this is actually the final homeworld of the game. So we've got already finished Sunrise Spring and Midday Garden. Evening Lake hasn't been completed yet. There's like one more scene I want to model off camera before I post it to wherever I post it. And then this is the final area, which is Midnight Mountain. I think this has worked out pretty well. I don't know about you, chat, but like the portal looks good. The background looks pretty relatively decent. Yeah, I think adding that second sun. Don't tell me there's more goddamn circus music. Is this circus music technically? No, apparently this counts. At first I thought you gave Herobrine abs. No, that's just the pose. Like, this is the armature for posing stuff. Those are not abs. That's just the armature, Foxy. Calm down. I haven't reached that level of derangement yet. Alright, I'll switch this back to Eevee. But yeah, I think the final result of this image is relatively good. I think the work that I did on the skybox was actually worth it in the end. So I'm going to make a duplicate of this, full copy. And I'm going to have... I'm going to pose these characters first before I add Moneybag to this thing. So, don't need to do anything with the skybox. The plane can probably just get gone at this point. What's... Oh yeah, that's... I should actually probably change that. I always say, like, what's the default object? And I realize, oh yeah, it's money bags. Okay, so... grab these. So, I want to have this one here. You don't actually realize how big this scene is until you've got characters wandering around in it. So I'm going to grab this into pose mode. A, Alt, E, R, and S is just pointless. So I'm going to select objects. Wait, is this sloped? By the way, you still need to send me your Dryder. I haven't finished the Dryder yet. I did have some progress of like, getting all of the stuff that I need here. So I actually got this set up on my secondary monitor. So like this is all of the stuff that I still need to do on the Dryder, notwithstanding the I believe that I need to finish doing some, I call it mutilation, but like adding a bit more detail to the face and the body to make it look slightly asymmetrical. And then I need to do normal maps, ambient occlusion, cavity maps. I probably want to rig it. I still need to do the hair. I have, to my credit, I did end up doing, like, looking up the hair stuff, and I did do some things wrong, so I shall eventually fix that, but not this stream. And the only reason for that is just because I was dumb and decided to try and speedrun building a computer, and didn't succeed. Okay, just put this down a bit. And then for Herobrine, I'll just go a Alt G and R. So I'm not sure where I want to set the camera for this scene. Like, do I want to set it in here? Like, the entire point is to have Herobrine, basically trying to push somebody into this pink magma, or I guess this is poison in this case. But I don't want to have it facing in towards this door because this is going to be important later. So I want to have maybe the camera angle like roughly around about here perhaps. Actually, I can even have an object floating in the poison, perhaps. Maybe it doesn't have to be violent assault yet. I'll just lock the camera into view here, and just edit this until I get a good view of both the characters. Maybe even... would this be a good angle, perhaps? Or do I want it to be around about the other side? Like, maybe around about here. Like, the entire point is, like, I actually want the focus to be more towards here. Because there is going to be something, well, someone hanging off the edge of this. Actually, I just had, like, an intrusive thought that's kind of funny, so I might go through with it, but we'll see. I'll set the angle to this for now. So, probably just have the characters be in this position. Okay, so I need to move Herobrine. I want to grab all of these, select objects. And just have him standing relatively close to the edge of the poison. Probably like around about here, possibly. Also, I just realized it's going to be like pitch black in here. I need to add some lighting to the scene and like internally. Because technically the only light that comes through is from here. So if I were to set this to cycles now, like, yeah, the entire scene is basically obfuscated, so probably need to... Oh, what I can do. So I'm going to grab this stuff here, which is the magma in question. And I'm going to have to make this consistent with the other image as well, but I think it could work. So I'm going to Shift D and then separate by selection. And I'm going to go up here, grab this slot here. P. Oh wait, actually Shift D and then P. And now I can grab these two. Oh, did I miss one? Oh, I must have missed one on the other one. And that one as well. By selection. Grab that one. Duplicate it. By selection. Grab these two and join them together. And then grab this. Oh, what the heck? Oh, wait, it's actually... That is correct. So if I go into here... Now, the problem with this one is that the UV editing is off here now. And unfortunately, I don't know how to fix this. So I'm just going to unjoin them, I think. Because having them joined together is not necessary in this case. I just grab these two and just... What the heck? Hello? There we go. And have them vary ever so slightly above where they were originally. Now, what I can do is I can plug this base color into the emission tab. Now, if I switch this to cycles for a second, it's going to show that correctly. Now, if I put this to 0.001, yeah, it's like way too bright, so it needs to be even lower than that. So if I EV... Now the problem is that it's actually turning the color white, and that's not what I want. I want this to be like a weird magenta pink color. I might have to do this some other time, chat. I'll save an incremental of this, and I'll end off the stream, because I've more or less run out of time for today, and I still need to clear out the bomb site that is my room. So I don't believe there's anything else. I cannot believe I messed up so much during this stream, but I got there eventually, so I can't complain too hard. I shall see you on the next stream then.